Welcome back to Lesson 16 of Mastering the Camera, Part 2. Let's get started. Okay, I'm going to take this one step further now with the third element of a camera called Link. And let's just talk about that for a few moments. Okay, so just using the same example that we've been on, I'll go back to frame 0. And so what we have here is camera 20, only highlighted as switch. So I'm going to come down here and highlight the camera so that I can see the controls down here. Okay, now only the first 6 cameras can be, or 9 cameras actually, can be allowed a hotkey. So we're beyond that here, so that doesn't matter. But we do have the follow object option, and all you have to do is click this link object /bone. Okay, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to hover over her nose or any part, but for me, I'm going to hover somewhere where I'm going to be balanced in the center of the scene. So it could be right here. And I've just selected head nub. Okay. And so what this does is now the camera will follow that point basically as she moves, keeping her centralized into the frame. All right, let's watch this in action now. I'm not going to make any other changes, but if I open up this link button now, I actually have a key that starts right here, Kristen's head nub. And so far it goes all the way to the end of the movie unless I say not to. So here we go. It's going to follow her.
Hey, attention everybody. Welcome to the Hound Dog News Talent Show. Who's ready to get started?
Okay, now that's a pretty extreme example, but that lets you see how camera 20 is just going to continue to follow her wherever she goes. And under the right example, say somebody's moving across the stage in that's a really great feature. Okay, so let's go back now to say frame 200.
Get
Okay,
started.
so where it's kind of following her a bit as she's moving around and keeping her more focused into it. We just go ahead a little ways. Okay, and what I'm going to do is hit the unlink button now, and I want you to watch in the timeline wherever I set this, wherever I say I want to have it stop following her, I hit that unlink, and there you go. It's got the keyframe now. So now the camera's only going to follow her. It's only going to follow her for a while. And because this is zooming out, I mean, it's holding it as good as it can when it's zooming out, and then it kicks into action more once she starts moving. Okay, does that make sense? So let's say I don't want her to be followed quite so soon. I can just do this. All right. Now the camera's just going to act just how we had seen it in the last example, doing absolutely nothing but how we had set it. And now when she really does start making some movements, it follows her. So I can move this out. So easy to manipulate. And I can move this further to where she's really starting to do some movement. And we'll just play it here. I may not have gone out enough. Sure, there you go. You saw it. Okay. So that's how you manipulate the this follow object, and how you can follow it on each camera and fine tune exactly when you want a camera to stop following your actor. That simple. Okay, so in this segment, I think I want to finish up with just coming into this live movie now and actually doing some more moves to it and so that you can see it, right? So let's just keep working this as if we were working with the camera and creating a movie here. So here's where we're left off. So here we are on this frame, and let's say I wanted to get anywhere in the scene and make a cool move at the same time. I can just come up here and grab this first. I'm on a camera, it's live, and I say I want to come on over here and see these guys. So now what happens is, because I've moved forward on the timeline and I moved the screen, it automatically recorded it down here in the timeline. Okay. And I know I've showed this quite a few times, but I just think that it's important for people to see it over and over till they finally just get it cemented in their brain. Okay, so now there's also the lens down here, and this is where it's wonderful to know how to be able to see things. You've got that camera editor, and you're on camera 7 already, so that means that anything down here is valid. Okay, and here I am. I want to know what's going on before, and I'll click it for the second time, and yes, it's 165. That's where that camera perspective left off. And that's where it is here then. But let's say I just go from, since this panned over and I want to kind of get a cool lens perspective at the same time. I'm already was at 165 here. Where do I want it to be here? Well, I can go ahead and slide the slider and see, what might look appropriate. How about I just come in and get the nice tight shot all at the same time while it's panning. Okay. Okay, now let's do us all a favor, and I'm going to go up here and restore the default workspace. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to reduce this preview screen way down. And I like to click scene because that turns off all the color pictures. Now I'm pretty much just working with text, and I've got about the best preview I'm going to get for you. So now I'm going to come back here. Where were we? In the timeline, camera 7. This was already here, and we hit these diamonds here. We're going to see what we just changed. Okay, so whatever that shot would be called, because this is basically unlimited settings. You can do it by the book and have the technical name for the shot, but we're panning and we're changing the perspective at the same time. We're making something that looks cool and interesting. All right, and that was really easy to change, and of course we've already discussed moving the diamonds back and forth to get the timing for it to go a little faster, a little slower. And so it's really this simple. I'm going to move forward into the timeline, still on camera 7, and if I were continuing to work the scene, and I haven't selected a bunch of switches already, which I have, which give me those automatic fast zooms. But if I were just working on this camera alone for examples, now I can come in basically on any character. Okay, now these are going to all form camera transitions, of course. And so now you see the automatic keyframe. Now it's going to come in nice and hot. Here we go. Let's play it real time. Okay, and so of course everything's nice and boring, so let's go ahead with everything we've created and tighten it up a lot, because this is the timeline is actually out quite a bit. There's a lot of space between all of this. And now you can see how the keyframes will sometimes get not lined up completely right, but it really doesn't matter, because if the perspective changes a keyframe or two before the actual zoom, you're never going to see that. Okay, so here we go. I've made it much faster, but as you can see, I never moved this one. So let's move it. Let's make that actually happen really quick. Okay, let's make it all happen even quicker. And so the point of this lesson is you're going to set your camera up, and then you're going to really play with your timing every time. And you're going to create magnificent shots. It's too fast. You're going to make what's right for your movie where you need it. Bingo. Looks better. Now hopefully that's playing to you in a preview the same, but okay, now we're just moving further on down the timeline. We didn't bother changing any perspective there. Don't need to do that every time. Okay, now maybe we want to either ultra close up, or you want to come back in and see different parts of the scene. We haven't seen a lot of rough here in his footwork. So say he is out of frame and I didn't want him there. As long as I line up over this keyframe, I can go ahead and adjust him. And now that's where he's going to be when I... Okay. Same with anything I've already done. As long as I line up over the keyframe, if I want to make Alex's head get a little more in frame, center it a little bit, as long as I'm right on the keyframe, then that's just as if that's the way I made it the first time. Okay. I'm going to move him way up just so that you can really see that example of what I just said. Now he's landing way up high. Now it's not really very natural the way this comes over like that. And so there's nothing wrong with just taking the frame out. And there it goes. I think that gives you enough examples for you to get flying with this camera system and start creating your own creations. So if you have any questions or comments, would love to hear, love to chat, so let me know.
Hey, attention everybody, welcome to the Hound Dog News Talent Show. Who's ready to get started?
Thanks for watching, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. See you on the next one.